It sort of feels like, he's giving up that side hustle of football to focus on his true passion of acting.
Oh, God.
On our Patreon, I'm excited to announce that we have a new level of fun and excitement, which I'm calling Lunch Date. Come have lunch with us. We're all breakfast themed stuff around here. But once a month at this level, we're going to do an exclusive little chat with folks. I want to hear about what you are loving these days, whatever questions you might have for us. Just come and eat. We'll all just chew into our microphones together. So that'll be at noon Pacific, probably toward the end of the month, I'm thinking. But we'll have a link down in our description here if you want to come and join us. If you already are a patron of ours, we are thrilled to have you. You can edit up to that level or just join us anew. Find out about us. We have The Mandalorian coming up pretty soon too, after we do Poker Face. So that is all good. We have some breaking news here, and that is that master Iranian filmmaker Jafar Panahi is out of prison today.
Yeah, he was threatening a hunger strike because apparently, it's this very complicated thing. There was a conviction in 2010. They never acted on it. And then not long, I think in 2020, he went to ask about the status of some other arrested filmmakers, and they threw him in jail. And he said the statute of limitations had ended and the Supreme Court agreed with him, but he remained in prison. And so finally he had to sort of threaten this hunger strike, and he got global attention for it. And so now the authorities are like, okay, and they're letting him out.
I think he's been in prison this time since July of last year.
That sounds right.
Because he made No Bears in secret early in 2022, which we reviewed recently.
Yep.
And so it's great to see him out. Yeah, I mean, he's been very critical of the Iranian government, but keeps making films despite them trying to clamp down on him. So thrilled to hear that. We have some good news for you to begin the day. And then also, 80 for Brady star Tom Brady has retired again.
Which, it's funny, when I saw that in the news, Dave was like, oh my God, what terrible timing. And I said, no, it's perfect timing. He's drawing more attention to this movie that's opening.
Right. It sort of feels like, he's giving up that side hustle of football to focus on his true passion of acting.
Oh, God. More on that in our review of 80 for Brady.
We'll review 80 for Brady later, but it got me thinking about all the football players who became actors, and I don't think Tom's got a future in that, but hey, I think he'll be okay.
He's no Jim Brown.
He's no Merlin Olsen.
For that matter, yes.
There you go. Also, Skinamarink, which we reviewed recently, Bibbs and I talked about earlier this month, is now out on Shudder.
Yes, just dropped.
Are you going to watch it?
Maybe.
Why are you ambivalent?
Because I'm a big chicken about horror movies. We know this about me. I've never made any bones about it. If I have to go review something for work, I will. But in my off time, by choice, it's not usually top of my list, but maybe.
So Bibbs thought it was terrifying. I don't think it's terrifying. I think it's more of a sustained mood, and it's creepy here and there. I don't think it's that scary, but it's become a huge sensation and done so well in limited release. Its per screen average is crazy. It's made this huge star of Kyle Edward Ball, who can't even be on social media. He got so overwhelmed with DMs.
Wow.
I think he had to deactivate his Instagram account, and he just he was trying to answer every Twitter message, and then just I just can't.
Man. Well, if Dave wants to watch it, maybe we'll watch it. We'll see.
Yeah. So that is out on Shudder. So for sure, make sure you check out our review of Skinamarink. Awards news now. The Academy Board of Governors met over this past week. They were going to anyway, and they looked at the questions about the campaign for Best Actress for Andrea Riseborough. And no shock here at all. They're not going to rescind her nomination.
Yeah, I mean, in the cases where they have done this in the past, it's been a member sort of rallying for themselves and doing it in a way that's very targeted. They were calling members of their own, whatever that,
branch.
The category branch. Thank you. Mm-hmm. The dude who'd written that song for some movie, that one they pulled, and there was another one, there was sound effects editing or something. But yeah, this one was sort of it wasn't like she was out there doing it herself. Other people were doing it on her behalf. And so it was kind of what are you going to do? But, if whatever unfurled this year is somehow violates the spirit of what they're trying to accomplish, then I'm sure they'll have to come up with more specific rules to address what is and isn't kosher in an awards campaign.
Yeah, a lot of the phrasing is vague. Like they use the word reasonable.
If we learned anything from the previous occupant of the White House, like if it's not written down in a hard text, and sometimes even then it doesn't matter, but like anything that just presumes that people are going to like, you know, be ethical or do the right thing. Like, no, you really have to be specific.
There's going to be a Gladiator sequel.
Yeah, they've been threatening that one for a while now. Is this like it's definitely a thing?
Ridley Scott is going to direct a How old is Ridley Scott? Like 90?
Something like that. Yeah.
He's super old. He's still working. He's going to make a Gladiator sequel. It's supposed to come out in 2024. And apparently, I hate the in talks phrasing, but apparently Paul Mescal is in talks to star in it. And he would play the character who was Connie Nielsen's kid in the original.
Okay.
It's been a long time. I've not seen it in a long time.
Yeah, you know, and that's a movie that I turned off in the middle. I was not into it. So
were you not entertained?
I was not entertained, as it turns out. Yes, sorry, Joaquin. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. I mean, also the last Ridley Scott movie I saw was House of Gucci, which is not exactly like got me fired up for the next one, but I suppose he's built up enough goodwill over the years where he always gets a shot.
He still got it, Ridley Scott.
Does he?
I'm a little curious about this. So just because if indeed they do cast Paul Mescal in this, like he's a really interesting, exciting young actor. Other casting news: Jafar Jackson, son of Jermaine, will play Michael Jackson in a Michael Jackson biopic, appropriately titled Michael, which Antoine Fuqua is directing.
Yeah. This seems like a terrible idea, but you never know.
Well, the Michael Jackson's estate is giving them full permission to do this, which means you're not going to really get the real story.
That is exactly why it seems like a terrible idea.
A terrible idea for us as people who want a good movie, not for them as a family that wants to put its own narrative out there.
Well, of course. No, yeah. I get why they're doing it, and they get to like create a whole new soundtrack album to sell stuff all over again. And I mean, you know, here's the thing. I think if you're going to do the Michael Jackson story, there's so much about it that's so incomprehensible that I think you have to go the full Aileen route. I think it just has to be like just completely bonkers. But I don't think we're going to get that from Antoine Fuqua.
That is a fantastic idea, right? Because his life was so outsized as it was, just like that documentary about his shopping sprees, you know, like what a total hoarder he was. Like that alone is weird. Like, yeah.
I think make it like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where Michael Jackson is animated and everything else is like live. I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Allegedly, they did a legitimate and exhaustive casting search. Allegedly, they looked.
They did a worldwide search before coming back around to Jermaine's son.
He was in front of us all along. Allegedly. I broke you. Did I break? I broke you. I broke you with that news.
Oh my God.
And then a really cool thing. This is very like inside baseball, close to home news here though. But if you were anywhere in the LA area, they are going to do for 5 nights at the Aero Theater. Paul Thomas Anderson is going to show his 70 millimeter print of Boogie Nights.
I just saw that. Now, is this the first time it's ever been shown in 70 millimeter, or was it originally released that way?
I don't know. I know that he loves the Aero because they can project in 70. Like that's where I saw the Master when they screened the Master. But I don't know if that's the first time ever. Because
it says world premiere, so that's what. Hang on, let's.
I guess that's it then.
Yeah,
no one's ever seen it in 70 before.
Cool. All right. Well. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the aspect ratio nerds out there could tell me how has Anderson ever shot in like Super 65, or has he always shot in 35 and blown up to 70? Like, I think the Master was shot in 65.
I have some memories of that.
But beyond that, like, I know he's a big fan of 70, but like, I don't know about like, you know, Licorice Pizza or other films of his that have gotten 70 releases. I don't know if they're all blow ups or what, but
like, I don't think Phantom Thread was, right? Phantom Thread was not.
I don't think so. But
anyway,
again,
so if you're a nerd for this kind of thing and you're anywhere near this,
yes,
go check it out. And then you and I are going to be at the Arrow on Sunday to go see Jeanne Dielman.
That's right.
All you Jeanne Dielman heads out there.
That's right. Because if you're going to see it, you need to see it projected. And I have not seen it in a while. And Christy is seeing it for the first time. So we're going to do a review next week to see if those smarty pants over at Sight and Sound know what they're talking about.